Jaime Munguia targets Edgar Berlanga for 2025 fight. Jaime Munguia says he's interested in fighting Edgar Berlanga in 2025 and feels that would be a good fight. This would be a business-level match because this is not a cutting-edge type of matchup, as neither of these guys is going anywhere in the division. Source: Jaime Munguia targets Edgar Berlanga for 2025 fight. Boxing News 24, https://www.boxingnews24.com/2024/12/ Jaime Munguia targets Edgar Berlanga for 2025 fight Berlanga, 22-1, 17 KOs, has been talking non-stop about his interest in facing Munguia, 44-1, 35 KOs. Next, since his wide 12-round unanimous decision loss to Canelo Alvarez on September 14th. The scores were 118-109, 117-110, and 118-109. Munguia-Berlanga would be a fight involving contenders recently beaten by Canelo, both of which are trying to work into a second clash quickly. It's believed that Canelo carried Munguia out of respect and not wanting to knock out a fellow Mexican. Munguia was out of his class and was fortunate not to get knocked out by Canelo. Mexico vs. Puerto Rico. He doesn't understand why Berlanga celebrated his loss afterward, and he feels that was ridiculous. Pathetic is the correct term. Afterward, Berlanga cruised around Puerto Rico in the back of a truck, being treated like a hero instead of a loser. That was so utterly bizarre. The Eddie Hearn-promoted Berlanga sees it as a fight that will sell on PPV, viewing it as a clash between Mexico and Puerto Rico. The Brooklyn, New York native Berlanga wants to market the fight as a match between those countries. Munguia is fighting next Saturday night against little-known Bruno Suarez, 20-0, 4 KOs, in a 10-round contest on December 14th in Tijuana, Mexico. I don't know what to say. I don't celebrate a loss. I work hard so I can learn. So for me, I think it's ridiculous to celebrate a loss, said Jaime Munguia to Fight Hub TV, talking about Edgar Berlanga celebrating his loss to Canelo Alvarez on September 14th. I respect him as a fighter, but I think it looks ridiculous to celebrate a loss. Let's do that fight. It would be a good fight for next year. So let's do it, said Munguia about his interest in fighting Berlanga in 2025. It's not the main goal to fight Berlanga. There's Caleb Plant and Billy, who is with Top Rank. First, we have this commitment on December 14th against Bruno Suarez in Tijuana. If all goes well, we want to have a great fight next year. The Business-Leeville fight would be more interesting for Munguia to test himself against Billy, Plant, or Osleys Iglesias than fighting Berlanga. If Munguia wanted to gain the respect of fans, he'd choose those guys rather than Berlanga. However, it's doubtful that he will for obvious reasons. He'd lose. Munguia is cut from the same cloth as Berlanga is in terms of how he's been matched during his career. So instead of breaking the mold from how he's been groomed for 11 years, he'll almost surely fight Berlanga, which would be a business-level fight. So it's predictable that he'll fight Berlanga rather than risk getting beaten by Billy, Plant, or Iglesias. Fighting any of those three would be Munguia going against his grain because he's never fought good contenders during his 11-year career. Munguia's best wins: John Ryder, Sergey Derevyanchenko, 39 years old, Eric Bazinian, Liam Smith, Saddam Ali. We have to see what the people want. I think the better fight is with Berlanga. I think people will like that fight. There are a lot of fights at 168, but we will see what the public wants. It will be a good fight, but I think Munguia will win due to the experience. I think he has a lot more experience than Morrell and is stronger, said Munguia about the February 1st fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell. They're both undefeated. They're with the same promoter. It looks like a very exciting fight, said Munguia. David Benavidez is not a stronger puncher than David Morrell, and not even close. Munguia has turned it upside down with that view. Benavidez is a volume puncher, not a power guy, and lacks the pop to fight the way he used to when he was belting down to campaign against smaller fighters at 168.